We got a big update on Isaiah Likely, y'all. Let's get straight into it. This report came from Jeremy Fowler. He said, Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely suffered a small foot fracture during Tuesday's practice, sources told Jamison Hensley and me. So that part right there, that is just a big sigh of relief. No Achilles, no ACL. Foot fracture, still something serious, but it could have been a whole lot worse. And I'm so glad that it was the Ravens they were extra precautious with this thing. With him being taken off on the cart, they were like, look, that's Likely. That's a pot of gold right there. That's the real deal right there. That's tight end one right there. We ain't taking no risk. Get on that cart, Likely. We'll drop you to the locker room, drop you to the doctor so you can get checked on. You ain't walking on that. But anyway, continuing. It says, if all goes well, this is the part right here. If all goes well, it's an early season return in week 1. It's possible. That's a big relief right there for real, man. It really is. I know some of y'all was telling me, Ingraven, stop freaking out. Ingraven, relax, chill out. It ain't that bad. This was Isaiah Likely, y'all. I don't think some of y'all understand. Like, this was Isaiah Likely being carted off. That's why I was tripping yesterday. I was tripping heavy yesterday. I'll let you know from jump because this was a big deal. I was like genuinely concerned because I'm like, Isaiah Likely, man, everything that we've been envisioning for him this season, everything flashed, man. It was like, oh my goodness, what is going to go down? And especially with it being on the last play of practice, him be lining up with who was, I think Sanusi came, and then he ended up coming down wrong. And I was like, oh no. But I'm glad that, look, Ravens were like, look, that MRI, hey, first thing in the morning, we getting that MRI right away. We ain't waiting for nothing. We ain't waiting until, no, that's Isaiah Likely. We need to know now. They probably got the MRI yesterday. They probably got it yesterday. And we probably just getting a report about it this morning. Because, Ravens, they were on that. Because they were like, this is our bread and butter right here. But, again, just like we talked about yesterday, with Mark Andrews still being in the building, Charlie Kohler still being in the building, Ravens are set up to withstand this blow a lot better had they not had a Mark Andrews. Because especially with him having all the experience in the world, being tight end one. Him having all the experience in the world with the weight of the world in the regular season on his shoulders and him being able to handle that, Ravens going to be straight. But with them having both Mark Andrews and Charlie Kohler, this also allows Isaiah Likely a little more leeway, a little more flexibility in when he can return. But, I mean, it's Isaiah Likely. So, he want to get out. I just feel like he going to be ready for the Bills. I think he's going to be ready for the Bills, but again, we'll see. But it is nice to know that it is a real possibility. Now, with his contract situation, we know Ricky Scoops, who's been on it. That boy be on point. He said that the Ravens and Isaiah Likely, extremely close. They're like right there to a deal. And there were some other people that confirmed it as well. But then Ian Rappaport, he came out yesterday, and he was like, whoa. No, the Ravens and Isaiah Likely are actually far apart from a contract extension right now. Oh, okay, well, hey, it is what it is. But with this, I wonder if the Ravens already got it done. I wonder if pen has already been put to paper or if they were just really close, because this would obviously put a hold on a lot of things with that contract extension. So we just got to wait and see. Now, I will say, if they did not put pen to paper yet, while this does put a hold on it, it could actually work out in Isaiah Likely's favor because he could end up getting a bit more. Say, for instance, they ain't got the deal done yet. Isaiah Likely comes back, whether it's week 1, week 2, week 3, he comes back. And between now and then, if another tight end gets signed to a contract extension that tops Jake Ferguson's deal, then that would make whatever money Isaiah Likely got, it would be higher because that's what the market would be. So this could work out in his favor as far as him getting a little bit more money than he would have gotten had he still been healthy and the Ravens got the deal done already. And a quick reminder for those who may have missed it yesterday, but we're doing another giveaway. We are giving you this Ravens bag, and we're going to include some nice little surprises in there as well that I'm sure you'll like. So if you would like to take part in that giveaway, if you would like to enter, just follow us on TikTok and like and comment on our Mike Green video where he's pushing that tight end into the dirt, and you'll be entered. My favorite part of the videos is now when we get to hear questions from y'all. Send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com if you want to take part in it, or you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids, and you can become a Team Keep It Clean patron if you want to show the channel a little extra support. Let's get into these questions. First one came from Mr. Man. He said, when is it going to end? When's what gonna end? He said, what's up, Ingraven? What's up, Mr. Man? Haven't said nothing in a while, but with the news about the Ravens getting big plays wiped out because of penalties in camp, made me feel like I had to now. Just when are the penalties gonna end? This is gonna be long, so buckle up. All right, here we go. He said, I'm tired of seeing and hearing about the Ravens being penalized, and it's already at the point where it's almost costing them games or it's straight up costing them games. Fun fact, in the second Bengals game last season, on the Bengals' final drive that led to the failed two-point conversion, 32 out of 70 yards they got were from penalties, meaning 45% of their yards that drive were from penalties, and they had 8 other penalties for 49 yards, but God bless the Ravens, and they made it out. He said, God bless the Ravens, and they made it out. Anyway, he said, in the Bills playoff game, 3rd and 5 on Baltimore's 30-yard line, only down 4 points. Allen throws the ball, it's incomplete, but oh wait, here comes a flag. Pass interference, ball in Baltimore's 12, 1st and 10. Bills end up scoring a touchdown and put them down 11, and had they gotten that stop, the score would have eventually been 25-25 during the infamous Mark Andrews two-point conversion drop, and the Ravens might have had a chance to send it to overtime. Now wait, let me stop you right there. For something like that, we can't talk in absolutes like, all right, the score would have absolutely been this or that, but because the game, it could have went a lot different. A lot of different things could have happened. It could have been that score. It could have been a different score too. But even more importantly than that, that pass was not pass interference. That was not, they called on Tre'Davious White, I believe. Keon Coleman actually pushed him. He pushed Tre'Davious White. That should have been offensive pass interference, if anything. So while the Ravens, they led the league in penalties last year for sure, that one right there, that was not their fault. That was not their fault at all. Anyway, he said in the Steelers' 18-16 loss against the Steelers, the Ravens had 12 penalties for 80 yards. Raiders game, we had 11 penalties for 109 yards. Even in games where we won, we draw a lot of penalties. Chargers, we had 9 penalties for 102 yards. Cowboys, we had 13 penalties for 105 yards. Bills regular season, 8 penalties for 79 yards. Giants, we had 12 penalties for 112 yards. You get the point. Ooh, that's ugly. He said, this is a little bit of a side tangent, but I truly believe our overall defense was worse than the Bengals by far last season. But the only reason it's not talked about is because our run defense stopped us from sliding. And even our run defense numbers are a bit skewed because why run the ball when the other team can just throw it? Our pass defense was so bad that 5 weeks of being the number 1 pass defense only barely bumped us up from dead last to second to last. And even that 5-week stretch of us being the number 1 pass defense doesn't impress me because look who we had to play. We played 2 teams who were legit, playing third-string quarterbacks, the Browns and the Giants, a run-first offense, the Eagles, and then the Steelers and the Texans. We only played two teams in that stretch and where that pass defense was actually good. But I'm looking hopefully for the Ravens defense to have to get Malachi Starks and Mike Green, and also getting rid of Eddie Jackson, Marcus Williams, and Brandon Stevens. And I'm happy to see that last guy, who shall not be named, is currently getting cooked. He still can't turn his head around and terrorizing another team and not us. Ooh. Now, you're right. The penalties are bad last year. Even, again, we talked about that one that wasn't the Ravens' fault. There were a lot that actually were the Ravens' fault, and they were bad. When Jeff Zrebiec brought that up yesterday, it was like, oof, or was it 2 days ago? Whenever it was, that they had a lot of offensive plays just wiped out by penalties. It's important that Ravens, they got to fix that because that's such an easy way to lose. Such an easy way to take away points, take away yards, and take away wins. Next question came from my guy, Braydon. He said, what's up, Ingraven? Hope you and your family are doing well. Appreciate you, Braydon. He said, I've been thinking about how stacked our defense is looking to be. Practically all of our starting players are first-round talent. Marlowe, Jair, Nate, Kyle, and Starks. I feel like this could be one of those defenses that will earn a nickname like Legion of Boom or No-Fly Zone. Of course, they'll have to play up to that expectation, but I'm sure they will. Personally, I like to refer to them as the flock-down secondary, as I expect a lot of receivers getting locked down by this group. What are your thoughts? I like that name. The flock down secondary. So the flock with lockdown. That's a nice one, man. It also reminds me of our guy, Ryan from the Flock Rundown. Shout out to him because he's been just killing it. But yeah, that would be a nice nickname. And I'm sure, they got to get something. And I'm sure it's going to be something given to them from a commentator. Maybe a commentator says something that ends up being a little catchy. It catches wind, and then we all start calling it. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe Team Keep It Clean. Y'all should give them a nickname. Because, again, Eric DeCosta and them, Ravens, they don't listen to me, but they listen to y'all. So if y'all come up with something that the Ravens like, it just may catch wind. This screams coaching issue. Next question came from my guy, Supastarr Dre. He said, what's up, Ingraven? How you doing today? Hope everything is going well with you and the family. Everything is good, my friend, especially once we got that update on Isaiah Likely. He said, I was looking at the Ravens Vault podcast with Sarah and Bobby. Oh, yeah, they be on it, boy. They be killing it, man. He said, and this guy, Warren Sharp, who's an analytics guy, oh, yeah, he's nice. I like Warren Sharp a lot because he will tell the truth, the real truth about just how great Lamar Jackson is. And he will tell some underappreciated truths about Lamar Jackson, which I really appreciate. Anyway, he said, and Warren Sharp, who's an analytics guy, brought up the most interesting stat record about Baltimore, and this screams coaching issue for the most part and execution. Since 2020, we are 23-24 in one-score games. That ranks 18th in win percentage, while Pittsburgh is 37-15, the Eagles are 28-15, and the Chiefs are 37-12. All of our one-score games, again, by the way. We lost 2 games last year that could have had us at the 2 seed, but at best. But again, this is my biggest issue with us. Why we can't put away teams we supposed to with the great roster we have. What are your thoughts on it, and what can we do to improve this overall? Sorry for the long message. This message wasn't long at all. Just win. Win. I know easier said than done, obviously. Just win, right? But you look at that. 23-24 in one-score games. He said Pittsburgh 37-17, Eagles 28-15, Chiefs 37-12. So, while, them one-score games, that record is ugly. It's just above, just below 500, excuse me, just below 500. But have those one-score games, if that includes playoffs, it probably does. It most likely does. The biggest issue is playoffs. It's not regular season one-score games. Yeah, we got those games. It's always 1 or 2 games where you're like, Ravens, really? Y'all, like, come on now. You should have been able to handle that. You really could. It's always 1 or 2 of those in the regular season. We wish there wouldn't be, but it always is. They don't be going undefeated. But playoffs would be my bigger concern. Just finishing. And it's always in the playoffs, a turnover here, a penalty there, like my guy just brought out earlier with the penalties. It's just always something in those crucial moments to where Ravens, they write and they could actually, there'll be multiple issues like that. There'll be multiple turnovers. There'll be multiple penalties. It'll be multiple things in the playoffs where a game, it'll flip. And the most frustrating part about it is that, again, like we talked about, Ravens, especially in playoffs, They commit all these errors. They make all these hiccups, all these mess ups, and they'll still end up losing the game by one score. One score. They'll be right there in it. So you just envision a scenario where the Baltimore Ravens are actually on point when it comes to turnovers, on point when it comes to penalties, especially in the playoffs. And you're like, man, if they would just clean that up, and I know it's easier said than done, if they would just clean that up, they could be blowing these teams out in the playoffs. But then you think about regular season. Even a lot of times when they are committing penalties, they could still end up blowing these teams out. So while they 23-24 in one-score games, they blow teams out so much that has minimal effect in the regular season. Obviously, in playoffs, that's where it's the biggest. But in regular season, that's minimal because Ravens be winning. They win so much. They win a lot, a whole lot. But obviously, come postseason time, it hasn't been enough because they ain't been able to get it done. So again, once they clean up the silly stuff, clean up the mistakes, clean up the penalties, clean up the turnovers, then that regular season, all them blowouts that they be doing in the regular season, that should carry right on over to the playoffs. We got a nice update on Isaiah Likely, but we haven't received any news on the injury status to Jalen Armour-Davis as of yet. We'll talk about how this impacts not only Jalen Armour-Davis, but the Baltimore Ravens in this video right here.